So I guess there's this new group called Partnership for America's Healthcare Future, I believe. And of course, it's another one of these groups that's going to do everything they can. And they have no party affiliation necessarily. And they're just corporate. So they're going to attract virtually all the Republicans and a whole lot of Democrats. And their whole goal is just to make sure that this Medicare for all doesn't pass. And they're just going to do scaremonger, gaslighting tactics to make sure that that doesn't happen so they can keep making money hand over fist while the rest of us get screwed. So one article from The Hill, I guess it was an opinion. It was written as an opinion because this guy, whoever wrote it, was actually pretty good at it. Like he explains, dude, these guys are full of shit. Don't listen to them as if, whatever they're trying to tell you in the future, whatever articles, whatever videos, whatever ads they come up with in the future, it's all crap, or it's greatly exaggerated at the very least. So I'll read here. They go, okay. So to continue to rake in profits, they've created the Partnership for America's Healthcare Future, a partnership of corporate hospitals, insurance, and drug companies. They must have a lot to lose. Last year alone, the group spent $143 million developing attack ads to try and kill Medicare for all. Now, here's some of the statistics that, I couldn't really believe. I mean, I've heard them, but this is where you got to understand that this is what's at stake. So polling shows that across party lines, a majority of Americans are in favor of Medicare for all. Why not? Right now, 30 million people in this country are uninsured. 40 million can't afford healthcare copays and deductibles. So think right there, that's altogether 70 million people that either have nothing or might as well have nothing. They got such crap that their high premiums, deductibles, and copays make it so that they can't really even access any of that wonderful care they're supposed to have. So then out of that, 45,000 die annually from not having access to health care. So out of the 30 million, those are the ones that are more likely to be part of the 45,000 that die every year. And I'm sure the number's going to keep going higher and higher the more we keep kicking this shit down the road. And then out of the 40 million that have insurance, but it's so crappy they don't really utilize it, I'm sure a bunch of them will end up dying of conditions like heart disease or cancer, in which their great, wonderful insurance, private insurance, just doesn't cover it. They're going, I don't feel like it. So they die. But in all likelihood, the ones out of the 40 million category, they end up having a situation where they're the most likely to go bankrupt from a basic medical condition. And that's insane. That doesn't happen anywhere else. Nowhere else in the developed world does that happen. Is that even a thing? You just go bankrupt because you just got some health issue. So another statistic to keep in mind, and this is where anybody who keeps up with this bullshit about how do we afford it so much money? Listen, dickheads. Medicare for all would reduce national health care spending by anywhere between $2 trillion to $10 trillion over 10 years. And then the research also shows that countries with single-payer systems spend a whole lot less on drugs. There you go. What are we doing? Why in the hell do we keep having this stupid-ass argument every time that this issue's brought up? It's bullshit. So, look, I'm going to keep doing videos on this very same thing, and you're going to keep seeing the exasperation. Or I'm just like, why the fuck are we even arguing about this? Because people with vested interests keep bringing up bullshit. So we'll have to keep staying on top of it, being there at every turn to let people know they're full of shit. And here's why. So, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. And, if Trump does get reelected, that's obviously shit. We're not going to get Medicare. We already know that. But guess what? Almost everyone, except for, say, Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, maybe Elizabeth Warren, depends on, if she's elected, it all depends on which way the wind blows with her and how much pressure is generated to whether or not she's going to follow through. But virtually every other candidate out there They ain't going to let Medicare for all fly. They just blah, 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 blah. They're not serious. They talk that shit, but when push comes to shove, they're bought and paid for by the same people that all the other politicians are bought and paid for. The same lobbyists, the same donors. They don't want this to happen, and they'll make it known. So you elect a Joe Biden or anyone like that, you ain't getting Medicare for all. So the time is now. Elect somebody like a Bernie Sanders or Tulsi Gabbard who's going to be serious and wants us to solve this problem once and for all. Because the idea that we have tens of millions of people that either have none or will go broke because of inefficient or insufficient coverage, that's just insane.